Morning again, guys. We're back up in a beautiful day for a drive in the canyons with Dylan of the Luxury Lives On
What's up,
YouTube
guys?
channel.
How's
Thank
it going?
you. We just hopped out of your Pops' Phantom, which was amazing. I love a Phantom. And then here we have 1989 Porsche
88.
88. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Apologize. 88
No
944 Turbo S.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out here in the owner's manual, which is funny, the Turbo S comes with its own little supplement, and so if
Like an afterthought.
if someone has this, they know that it's a real Turbo S, and it's got all this S specific information. 4-cylinder. This says 242 horsepower, 250 pound-feet of torque, maximum speed 162 miles an hour. 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds.
Yeah, not bad.
13.5 quarter mile. Not bad. So tell me about this car. How long have you had this thing?
So we've had this a couple years. I looked, a couple years ago, 944s were even cheaper, obviously, and I just really liked the designs, and I love the 80s.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get a 944, hundreds of dollars, whatever it may be. Obviously, us being car freaks, it escalated. I love the turbo. The turbo is this infamous thing in the 80s too, and I looked at turbos, and then suddenly I saw one day a Turbo S for sale, and I didn't know it existed. And obviously we went crazy. It was in Connecticut. We went there. There was no rust. It has 200,000 miles.
It's got a lot of miles on it, but it's remarkably good shape. Just a couple little tears on the dash here, but
Yeah.
this hilarious cloth interior is
Yeah, it's
super dope.
It's love it or hate it interior, but yeah, they made 1,000 Turbo S's. 381 of them were the Silver Rose editions with this interior and the paint. And this actually, I think Automobilia or something did a magazine on comparing this to the 930 Turbo, and this actually beat it around the track.
Interesting.
Anyway, I could go on for days.
Well,
Sorry
let's
to
have
bore
a go.
everyone.
Let's
but-
drive it. Let's drive it. Here we go. Smooth. So I've driven other 944 turbos, but they've all been modified. This is completely stock, right?
Yeah, this is a new thing for most people, seeing a stock 944.
Well, that's, this is what happens. They're cheap, right? They become race cars and tuner cars and whatever, and then there's none left, and then they're worth money. That's how it goes.
Same thing with the old 911s, I guess, too.
Whoa, look at that. Wow, this car makes well use of 242 horsepower.
Oh,
that felt like more than that, didn't it? Well, granted, we're going downhill, but I went flat there, that felt like more than 242.
I love it. The funny thing when we were doing the drive-bys, I was in first and it couldn't kick in because of the turbo lag. But other things on this car, so the reason why it exists is probably because of the Turbo Cup series that was out in the 80s. They were very successful, and basically this car was a homage car to that, so it has all race parts. So it actually has 928 brakes. Stock. It has.
That's going to be helpful. I feel like this car's got enough motor where I could get those brakes real hot on this road.
It's got Koni adjustable ride height tension springs. What else does it have? A bigger turbo than the standard 944 turbo. A hardened steel gearbox.
Sweet.
Yeah, a lot of
stuff. It's a nice car. So you do have to. It does have that sort of 80s. Put a lot of steering into it. But once you load it up, it's great. What's really nice about this is how smooth and fluid it all is. That's sort of, whenever I drive a tuner Porsche from the 80s or so, it can be made more violent or louder or faster. Yeah. But what is always surprising to me when I drive a Porsche from the 80s is how refined they are out of the box.
Oh, yeah.
And this is just smooth and quiet. And it's got a lovely GT ride. I mean, this was probably a stiff ride for 88.
Oh, 100%.
But by today's standards, it's like a great little GT car.
It's fun, it doesn't take itself seriously with the interior, and it's just a fun car. And I just love how 80s it is. It's hilarious. Every switch is clicky. The doors just bang when you close them.
Yeah. It's where it wasn't. It was just a solidness. There was a period of time where it felt like the Germans built things to last forever.
That's that era.
That is this era of cars. God, once it's got a lot of lag. I mean, you've got nothing. There's literally nothing at all below like $4,000. But once you get it into boost, it really does like to go.
It hauls ass.
Yeah. I mean, these things really feel like faster, better built early Miatas.
Yeah, that's and you got the 50-50 weight distribution, pretty much.
Yeah, beautiful weight distribution. This thing would probably be very fast on a racetrack.
That's why they're tracked so much, I guess.
Drive. Really, really lovely. It feels light, but also solid, which is not usually you get one or the other.
And I like that you say that because I mean, obviously it has 200,000 miles. It's getting up there.
Well, I mean, look, I get a little bit of rattliness from
this roof.
Yeah, from the roof being up, but I mean, for an '88, dude, if my Mustang, which is among the most sorted Mustangs on the planet, you know, you hit a bump like this, and it sounds like you just dropped a bucket of bolts down the stairs.
You broke an axle.
Yeah. It's just, you know, you can make anything faster, but you can never improve build quality over time except for a very unreasonable amount of money.
Yeah, like a Phantom.
Like a Phantom. No, but like imagine you tried to take this car and turn it into Phantom build quality. You know, it would cost you more than buying a Phantom.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
All right, now we're going to see the power up the hill. Lag. Whee! It's really about 4,000 to 6,000 RPM is where all the good stuff goes.
It's so
down.
fun being driven in this car. You
probably got a lot of confidence, right? And also the inputs are really good. The shifter's really good. I loved how it sorted that bump out. That was great.
Yeah, it honestly is. Yeah, a bunch of race parts in this car that it makes it a lot more capable.
Woo! This is a horsepower car and a momentum car. That's what's cool about it. You don't have to pick one. Usually you gotta pick one. And like right there, third gear, just on and off boil.
Yeah, this is fun.
This car is great, dude. What a nice little car this is. I get why this car is worth money. This car should be worth money. This is exactly the kind of car that should be worth money, because if you could take a car that's 30 years old and come out here and drive it like this without any modern upgrades, that is a good car. Hell yeah. This thing is beautiful. It's got such a slickness to it, right?
Yeah.
And you said AC works and all that?
Every single light works. So we have a service history of the binder this thick.
That's a good car. So how is it? I mean, is the maintenance expensive? Is it easy? What's the deal with it?
For us, it hasn't been expensive because you obviously have such a tiny little mass-produced engine.
Yeah.
I mean, they made so many 944s that with this car we have a special car but a mass-produced car. So
right. So the turbo-specific stuff is not what's going wrong. It's just the same stuff as any other 944.
Like I have a funny story for you. So my dad and I were in it, and he was driving, and I opened the CD cassette area, and it was my dad opened. It was already open. I go in the car, I sit, and I snap the shit. I snap it. And I go on eBay and I buy one for $10 and just replace the inner liner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the type of thing you're dealing with this car, which is refreshing.
And from a powertrain perspective, it's been good for the whole time you guys have had it.
The original owner had like a blow-off valve and all this stuff. We totally put it back to stock. It's a one owner as well.
This thing is great. It's comfortable, you know, for a tall driver. It's got the right driving position.
Oh my God, that
That's okay. This guy's going to let us by.
And we also have the great thing that was important for getting any old cars. It has ABS and airbags, which is really
that's true. It does. The downside is you get the very ugly Porsche airbag steering wheel.
Exactly. That's why it had like some race one on a Momo one originally, I suppose.
But that may save your life. Someday.
Because we had a 308.
Let me buy? Oh, you're not gonna let me buy? Hang on. Bastard. We're gonna. I just can't. It's the car's too good. I cannot sit behind a truck.
Unacceptable. And I think it has like an original tack here too, like the original chrono package.
Yeah, Sport Chrono. Does it work?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, there
Count.
you go.
Count, you bastard.
I don't know how to.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's count.
Second
lap timer. Sweet. What I like, you know what's good about this is like the clutch is soft. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean you could, if you got stuck in a traffic jam in this car, you wouldn't want to hang yourself. Yeah.
It's a very usable, drivable car.
It's got good stick to it too. This is a lovely thing. I can absolutely see why this thing would be worth some money. It drives really, really good. Sorry if I sound a little sniffly. I've been all over the country in the last couple weeks, and I picked up some allergies.
Everyone's getting sick now.
Everyone's getting
My whole family got sick from my little niece.
So do you have any future plans for this car? I mean, this thing is, as we reach the end here, we get stuck behind a truck for the last Porsche now.
I have to say the one thing I do want to hear more of is sound. And maybe do a reversible bolt-on exhaust.
Exhaust is an easy one.
And that's about it. We just want to maintain it and love it and drive it.
Well, exhaust is both easy and reversible. So
yeah,
if you wanted to hear a little more exhaust out of this thing, I wouldn't blame you at the least. Because I could use a little more exhaust myself.
I totally agree.
But it is slick and refined, and it feels like a high quality item when you drive it. It doesn't feel like an 80s, piece of crap. It feels sweet.
Great.
And it's good. It's really nice.
Well, thanks for letting me show you it. That's great.
No, thank you for coming out with it.
Of
Luxury
course.
Lives On YouTube. Hit him up. He brought out some winners for us today.
Yeah,
so
and we have other cars we can show you guys too. So check it out.
Got to appreciate that. Thank you for watching. 944 Turbo S, really filling in that gap nicely. Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it.
You.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.